Hey guys, Azure here. We've got a good episode for you today. This is the episode 2 to the intro to units. Today we're going to be going over handguns and what they can do for you, and what handguns should say would be best for certain situations. So I have 5 stars. I have 5-star, 3 stars, and I have 4-star handguns. Depending on what they do, they give buffs in there, buffs to the whole squad, to all units. They also give formation buffs as well. Here's my 5-star one. Buffs all types is a formation buff. Gives buffs to all types by 18% damage and 12% evasion. And then also a stacking buff on top of that has fire command. Increases all damage by 17% for 6 seconds. It's very nice to have. It's not needed, but it is nice to have. Next up, we have M9. She's a 3-star. This one is very, very easy to build and to get. She is very nice to have. Buffs all types, damage by 15% and evasion by 15%. Most of the handguns will have almost the same formation buff, but different skills. Her skill is actually a stun grenade. So if you guys haven't noticed, in the last video we had a submachine gun with a stun grenade. Now we have a pistol with a stun grenade. M9. She is very good, very nice to have. Easy to build. I would say cheap to play. Let's see, who's next? Okay, M1911. She's a 2-star. You can get her farming anywhere. She has a smoke grenade. The smoke grenade reduces the enemy's fire rate and movement speed by 28%. Fire rate by 20, movement speed by 28, within a radius of 2.5 units for 2.5 seconds. Like I said, most of the buffs are going to be the same. I think this one is buffs to rate of fire and accuracy. This is a kind of a different one, a different buff. She's okay. She's not really that good, but I mean, if you need to slow movement and rate of fire of the enemies, you can use her. She's pretty good with that smoke grenade. Next up, Type 92. I haven't leveled her up yet. She's actually kind of nice. Her formation buff is actually really cool. You're gonna want her in the center of your team, like up front and center. You're gonna want her there because of her formation buff. She buffs all types accuracy and evasion by 20%. She has what's called the charge command. She increases all damage by 6% and the fire rate of your units by 6% for 5 seconds. I think it's a little bit better than my 5-star Grizzly, but everybody would say Grizzly is a lot better because the damage buff is a bit higher. Next up, PPK handgun. Rate of fire and crit rate. She has what's called the Annihilation command. Increases all damage by 6% and crit rate for 25%. That's actually really nice to have. I have one. You can farm this from the story as well. It is really easy to get. It's not really hard. I haven't used it. I haven't used any of my low stars since I got Grizzly. And then I do have some more. We have C96. Here's a really cool one to have. Flare. Increases all accuracy by 55% during nighttime for 8 seconds. That is big. That is really big to have. She buffs all types of accuracy by 32% and evasion by 15. The buff increases upon linking. The formation buff really isn't that good, but the flare is amazing. During nighttime battles are a pain. I actually haven't done any nighttime battles, but I've seen some videos from the Japanese version. They're a pain. You're gonna want stuff with nighttime effectiveness, and this handgun unit is gonna be amazing just for that. And she's a 3-star. This one right here is a 2-star. MP446 buffs all types. Another one you're gonna want in the middle of your party, in the center of your party, so you get that nice party buff. But this one, it's missing something. It's missing either evasion or accuracy. But it's only a 2-star, so it's only gonna have. It has a damage buff by 14%, but she has assault suppression that can decrease your enemy's fire rate by 12% for 5 seconds. That is really nice to have. I mean, it's not really the best, but if you can't get any other handguns, try to work on your 2-star handguns. This one right here isn't that bad. If you get her skills up, she has a pretty good rate. She has a pretty good decrease on the rate of fire. I think at level 10, it's 20%. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look that up again. I'm not really looking at skills. I'm just going over what we have. Let's see. And we have the FFP9. Another one that you're going to want up front and center. Because her... Actually, no. You're going to want her on your back line. Because she's going to give the buff to everybody in the front. So you're going to want her in the back. Buffs all types, rate of fire by 10% and accuracy by 20%. That's actually really nice. She also has the skill called cover suppression. She decreases all enemies' evasion for 32% for 5 seconds. That's actually kind of nice if you've got some really heavy damage dealers and you can burn through your enemies within those 5 seconds. Because later down the line, enemies are going to be able to evade you and make you miss if they aren't doing that now. Then we have Stechkin, another handgun. Buffs all types of damage, rate of damage by 6% and rate of fire by 12%. Another one you're going to want in your back line. You're going to want her in the center of your back line, not in the front line at all. And she has the assault command, which is raise your rate of fire by 12% for 5 seconds. That's not bad. It's an okay skill. It's a pretty good skill to have. I'm not going to be using her all that much. But if you have her, good. She's going to help you out a lot. Last but not least, last 2-star on my list. At the beginning of the game, I started out with the M1895 as my handgun, my main handgun. She buffs all types damage by 20% and crit rate by 10%. I put her on my back line because of the way her formation buff is. You can put your 2 assault rifles in the back, and you can use her to buff both assault rifles with damage and crit rate. But the main skill that I really liked the most was decrease all enemies' damage by 20%, 12% during the daytime, but it looks like it's 20% during the night, but 12% during the day for 5 seconds during the night, and it looks like 3 seconds during daytime. So she lowers whatever damage you're going to be taking by a lot. So if you've got some pretty heavy tanks, like some machine gun, or some shotguns and some SMGs, she's going to work out real nice. So, all in all, handguns are really nice to have. If you have them, they're pretty easy to make. You guys, it's very easy. A lot of them are cheap, or story farmable. I've got a bunch of 2-star pistols that I've been working on. So everybody should have pistols. If not, you can farm them from the story, or an easy pistol production is 130, 130 and all the stats and all the stuff you're using to make your pistols. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Next one is going to be on assault rifles. I'm going to show off one of my favorites. So see ya.